My boyfriend thought it made more sense to lie about his dad having a terminal illness than admit he was cheating on me with the girl he told me not to worry about. I, 24F, met my now ex-boyfriend, Aaron, 35M, 2 years ago. Aaron is from Hong Kong and I am British. We both live in the UK in different cities. We had our differences, but he was the perfect boyfriend, kind, respectful, and always did his best to make me feel happy. I had even introduced him to my family after 6 months of dating, and they loved him just as much as I did. It felt like the perfect relationship, and we were even looking at apartments to rent together and talked about our future all the time. After celebrating our 1-year anniversary together, I noticed that he had begun to change, just small changes, like never calling me, taking a long time to reply to texts, and he was going out with his friends almost every night and not returning home until 3 a.m. He had moved to the city from Hong Kong on his own, and I figured that he had made some new friends and that he was just enjoying himself. I tried to be happy for him, and so I didn't question his frequent late nights out. I then noticed that my BF would travel every day to a particular building in the city center. We were sharing each other's location, which I found strange because my BF worked completely from home and his company did not have an office in our city. When I asked him about this, he told me he had gone to use some office space. I figured that he had done this to get out of the house. I could understand that, and this building was in a very commercial area with lots of businesses, so it didn't sound completely out of the question. So I didn't push it any further. A few weeks later, we were planning to meet up on a Friday night. He texted me a couple of hours before, asking me to meet at this office location. When I arrived, I found out that this was an apartment building, and the office that he had been visiting every day was actually the apartment of one of his female friends. We'll call her Ria. I immediately confronted him for lying to me, and I felt extremely uncomfortable at the idea of him visiting another girl's apartment every day. He assured me that he went there only to work and that he was never alone with her because other friends worked there too. I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt, but as soon as I met Ria, this all faded to anger. She welcomed us into her apartment where she and a group of Aaron's friends were playing board games. Whilst I was sat right next to my BF, she proceeded to put her legs on him, cuddle up to him, drag him away at any given moment, and spent the entire night making rude remarks at me in Cantonese. She was also from Hong Kong. I had never felt more uncomfortable in my life, and even Aaron's friends could see that, and felt sorry for me. After we left, I told my BF how uncomfortable Ria made me feel, and he completely dismissed it, insisting that they were just friends and that he would promise not to see her as often anymore if it made me feel better. However, he was texting her all evening when we got back to his place, and when she called him, he picked up straight away. They were on the phone together for hours laughing and talking, whilst I sat there feeling upset. He didn't even notice. A few weeks later, I invite him to my parents' house for Christmas Eve in my city. We agreed for him to arrive at 1 p.m. and have dinner with me, my parents, and my extended family. He went out to the club the night before, for a friend's birthday, and messages me at 3 a.m. saying that he got home safe. I check on the location app and see that he is at Ria's apartment, and not at home. I screenshot this and called him out on it, and he responded that I was a stalker, told me the app was broken, and then turned off his locations. Like a fool, I still begged him to come to my family's place on Christmas Eve. I really felt that some time alone together would help things. However, at midday on Christmas Eve, he texted me saying he was hungover and was not coming. I was distraught, and after I, stupidly, begged for him to come, he turns up at 10 p.m., having completely missed the entire celebration and my extended family's visit. I also find out that he had blocked me and my family from his Instagram story, where he had posted lots of pictures of him at the club, always with his arms around Ria. If you're going to block everyone I know from your Instagram story, don't forget to block my cousin next time, asshole. Christmas goes without incident, and we make plans to go to his friend's party together on the 30th, before spending the new year together. He then suddenly uninvited me from the party, saying that there's too many people going and that he'll meet me at 1 p.m. on New Year's Eve instead. I was upset but understood that he was not hosting the party, and I can't demand an invitation. So he went on his own. New Year's Eve comes and I am waiting at 1 p.m. We were going to meet at his local Starbucks, and then we had a dinner reservation at 7 p.m. 3 hours pass and he hasn't shown. He won't answer his texts or calls, and I have no idea where he is. It gets to 7 p.m. and I go to the restaurant alone. At this point I am starving and upset, and I just needed some food. Whilst eating, I finally get a text from him saying that he already got dinner with Ria and some other friends, and that he would rather spend New Year's without me, but if I insisted, he could come and meet me at 8 p.m. I had traveled all the way to his city for him to tell me he doesn't want to see me, so I demand to see him at 8 p.m. because I was not having my time wasted. He meets me at 8 p.m. and we go to his apartment, where I find half of his possessions packed away in boxes and half a suitcase packed. I looked at him, confused as to what was going on. This is when he sits me down and tells me that he is moving back to Hong Kong for 2 years because his father has terminal cancer and, as an only child, he needed to return to take care of him and his mother. He explained that this is what has caused his stress and unusual behavior the past few weeks. My heart broke for him and I felt so guilty giving him a hard time, not knowing the pain he was going through himself. I tried my best to comfort him and be the good, understanding girlfriend. He then told me that he wants to break up whilst he goes back, because he doesn't want to do long distance as it's not fair to me, and that if I wait for him for 2 years, we will find each other again. I was heartbroken, but I understood. I didn't want to be selfish, and I couldn't imagine the suffering that he was going through. I had been with my BF for a year and had never ever seen him cry until now. I was so upset for him. I leave his apartment and say my final goodbyes, but things continue like they had never changed. He would still message me every day, he would send me cute romantic quotes, and would tell me that we'll be back together and happy after 2 years of him going home to help his family, and I truly believed him. Even though we were technically broken up, I felt that we could get through this difficult time together. That was until 2 days later, my cousin sent me a screenshot of Aaron's Instagram story, that he had hidden from me, showing a picture of flowers that he had bought for Ria, followed by a picture of them on a dinner date with the caption "Finally." I was absolutely furious. When confronting him about it, he denied everything. He denied hiding his story from me, saying that the app was glitching, he denied being on a date with her, and he denied buying her the flowers. I didn't believe a single word he said, and I was tired of him denying his cheating. I wanted to get answers once and for all. So I messaged Ria directly asking her what's going on, and she told me everything. She told me that she and my BF had felt attraction to each other for some months, that they had kissed but never slept together, that they were now going on dates together and taking it slow after he broke up with me. I was absolutely furious, and her attitude made me feel even worse. She told me the breakup was not her fault and that my BF willingly went to her because she's a better GF than I am. Not to mention, Ria still has a BF of her own. I screenshot everything and sent it to Aaron, asking him to explain, and he finally admitted to everything. I was absolutely devastated but should have seen the signs ages ago. Furthermore, I asked him, "Are you even going back to Hong Kong? Is your dad even sick?" To which he replied, "No, I just thought it would make the breakup easier on you." He knew that I lost my grandmother to cancer, and that was a really low blow, even for him. Not only had he cheated on me with a girl he insisted was just his friend, he lied about it to my face, he lied about moving back to Hong Kong, and he lied about his father having cancer. He literally went back to his apartment on New Year's Eve, pretended to pack up his possessions and turned on the waterworks to make the whole thing more convincing. His response to being confronted with all this? Maybe I just wanted a better life? Did you ever consider that? What an absolute psycho. In conclusion, both of them are now blocked on everything. I haven't heard from him in 2 months, and she is welcome to my leftovers. The end.